What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Today I'm bringing you round 4 of my recent run at Georgia Regionals. At this point I was 3-0 and I was up against another 3-0 player named London Ward. London was using a team of Rayquaza, Talonflame, Kyogre, Ferrothorn, Landorus, and Thundurus. And going into the match, going into game 2, which is the game I'm about to show you, I was looking at Rayquaza, who had Dragon Ascent, Overheat, and Earthquake, Talonflame, which was Tailwind and Adamant, Kyogre, who used Ult Pulse, Protect, and I wrote down that it was offensive and that my Double Edge did about 75 to 80% of its health, and Ferrothorn, who revealed Leftovers. And also, I'm looking at my notes, and, excuse me, it says Tailwind, then it says Trick Room, then it says Gravity, then it says something I crossed out, I don't know what that is, and then it says Tailwind again. So, lots of speed control going on in this game, but yeah, I thought I'd just go ahead and look at the matchup going in. Obviously, Rayquaza Kyogre actually wasn't my most comfortable matchup, believe it or not. I wasn't super practiced with it, but I figured with Groudon and with some good play, I would do well enough. And I was also kind of worried about Thundurus going in, but I was able to win the first game, and yeah, I don't know, I figured that I had a chance. So I'm gonna go ahead and start the battle then. Let me go ahead and mute this so it doesn't distract me. Yeah, so once again we jump into the battle. We do see Landorus and Thundurus out from London's side, whose name is Berlin, which is a cool name actually. I like that a lot. And I go ahead and lead Salaman's Bronzong. And my Bronzong is Mental Herb, so I felt pretty good about the situation because I got the Intimidate onto Landorus, and we actually see, oh yeah, this is important. So we didn't see Landorus game 1, but we see that because Landorus' Intimidate goes out before my Salaman's Intimidate, we know that his Landorus is faster than my Salamence. So with that in mind, I know he's Scarf. I'm just going to go for the Trick Room. I do have Mental Herb, so I'm not super worried about the taunt, so I figured what's most likely here is he goes U-turn and taunt into my Bronzong, and then I'll just like get Trick Room up for free because he doesn't know about Mental Herb, but he actually just goes for Rock Slide, and I'm a little worried about flinching at this point, and we see that he doesn't use a Prankster move because he does just go for Thunderbolt, and that actually does like a really big chunk to my Xerneas. So I wasn't expecting it to do that much at all because my Xerneas is like really bulky, but thankfully I don't flinch and I do get a Trick Room. And at this point, yeah, Landorus just goes ahead and switches right out because he says that he does not want to deal with this situation, and he brings Ferrothorn in. And this is surprising because I didn't see Thundurus or Landorus game 1, so I was kind of expecting, like, I don't know, like with Ferrothorn in the back, he can't have both Rayquaza and Kyogre is the main point here. So he does just swagger my Xerneas, and I set up Gravity because I have Groudon in back. My Bronzong is really thrives in Gravity, and I had Mental Herb, so I wasn't worried about being taunted. And so we're going to see if my Xerneas attacks. I actually believe I did go for Geomancy this turn, so even though that did a sizable chunk of damage and I lost the turn, I'm actually kind of happy. Or I'm not happy, but I'm not too upset that I was hurt myself in confusion there because it allows me to preserve the power for later. And yeah, because in this situation I would have wanted to switch Xerneas out, so I do actually switch Xerneas out into Groudon. And even though I'm switching Groudon before he brings in Kyogre, which means he has the weather, like he will have the weather ability, like to switch in. I'm okay with that because my Bronzong has Hypnosis, and with that in mind, like I feel really good about the fact that I can just Hypnosis the Kyogre if it comes in. So he does go for Gyro Ball into the Xerneas slot, which is a good call, and I just aim for the Hypnosis on Thundurus, and this is Thundurus' first turn of sleep because it doesn't use a Prankster move. And I was personally really grateful that he didn't Swagger me this turn because I didn't want to deal with any Swagger. I would have been okay if he Thunder Waved my Groudon, but yeah, so Thundurus goes to sleep, and this turn I was kind of expecting, like, maybe a Thundurus switch to Kyogre or something, and yeah, it's just like something along those lines, and he does end up bringing in Kyogre, but what's surprising to me here is that he also, well, let's see, while he brings in Kyogre, and Thundurus has taken 1 turn of sleep, that's important to keep in mind. So Kyogre's in, my Sun is gone, and I don't have any way of resetting the Sun without switching because my Bronzong does not have skill swap at all. It has 0 skills to swap. And he does double switch here, which is actually really interesting because he, like, after an Intimidate, my Precipice Blades is not as threatening. And so Landorus intimidates here. We do know it's Scarf, which is actually super valuable because it means it can't protect. But just for whatever reason, I decided to Hypnosis into the Kyogre. I figured, like, basically, like, I figured there's a chance, like, the Thunder stayed in, and I just like Hypnosis in general, so I wanted to Hypnosis something. So, Precipice Blades does over 50% to Landorus, which is really nice, but it doesn't do over 50% to Kyogre, which is not nice. So I switched Groudon out here because Kyogre has taken 0 turns of sleep, and mainly because I wanted to get that Sun, like, I thought what was probable is that he switches Kyogre to Ferrothorn this turn, to get, like, to reset his own weather, because, I don't know, he doesn't want me to, and he wants to burn through his sleep turns as well. Actually, I'm not really sure where to go with that. But yeah, basically, Bronzong goes for Hypnosis into Landorus, but he switches Landorus into Ferrothorn, which is totally fine by me. Yes. because now Ferrothorn has taken 0 turns of sleep. Thunderous has taken 1 turn of sleep, and that was Kyogre's first turn of sleep, I believe. But Trick Room does run out here, so I'm glad that I switched Groudon out in that last turn, because now I can bring him back in and have no fear of any Origin Pulse or anything. And so, oh yeah, sorry. At this point, I jiggled my cord that connects my capture card to the computer got like a little. It's like really messed up. I have a new one now, but it was really giving me trouble. So yeah, that's what that was. But I do get Groudon out here to protect my Bronzong and allow me to set Trick Room again. But he's really smart and gets his Landers back in, getting like not only resetting his Kyogre, but once again dropping me to -1 attack, which is like really a pain. And he gets Ferrothorn out here as well. Yeah, I don't know exactly why. I think he wanted Thunderous back in and started to use those sleep turns. And so I do get Trick Room up again, which is really nice because once again, Landers can't protect and Thunderous can't protect either because neither of them. Well, Landers can't protect because it doesn't have protect, or Scarfer probably doesn't have protect. And Thunderous can't protect because that was its first turn of sleep, I believe. No. That's the second turn of sleep. Okay, yeah, well, regardless, the Landers couldn't protect. So I set Gravity up again because, once again, I have Mental Herb. I'm not super worried about Taunt. He could have swaggered me, but he hasn't seen my Bronzong item, so it would have been risky. And at this point, I'm inclined to believe he doesn't actually have Taunt because I've seen Thunder Wave, I've seen Swagger. No. I've seen Thunderbolt and I've seen Swagger. But I would assume Thunder Wave. And so, with that in mind, I would expect Hidden Power or maybe Protect as the last move. And so, yeah, Kyogre comes back in here, and now I'm suddenly in not a great position because he can just Origin Pulse, and I've set up Gravity, so he can't miss, and that Kyogre has taken 2 turns of sleep, I believe. And so, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and switch out my Gardenet to Xerneas, trying to reset this weather, and yeah, Thunderous takes the 3rd turn of sleep, which isn't super important, but the really important thing is I go for Hypnosis into the Thunderous because I didn't think -1 Gyro Ball, -2 Gyro Ball was going to do a ton of damage, but yeah, both his Pokemon do end up sleeping. And so at this point, I was a little afraid of the roleplay, having only seen 2 moves, but he goes for Swagger into my Xerneas. So I go for Hypnosis into Thunderous, which is, like, basically I was calling that kind of prankster attack, and I was basically saying, I'm okay losing Bronzong because it lets me get Groudon in for free. And unfortunately, his Kyogre does take that 3rd turn of sleep, so he gets all 3 turns of sleep. So if Bronzong had gone down there, I just would have gotten a freeze boost to Groudon, and I would have liked my position a lot because I could have gone Geomancy, Precious Blades, and I think that would have sealed it. But regardless, now I get Sun back up again with Desolate Land, and I think I made a minor misplay this turn because so basically, yeah, that's Thunderous' first turn of sleep, Kyogre has 0 turns of sleep. And I couldn't, yeah, so yeah, now Kyogre is awake, obviously. And it goes for the Ice Beam, which again does a ton of damage into my Xerneas, way more than I expected. And I do go for Dazzling Gleam because I assumed it would pick up the KO on the Thunderous, but actually it manages to hang on, which is really, really interesting. But at this point I figure, okay, like, he can switch out his Kyogre, he can not switch out his Kyogre, but I'm just going to go for the Dazzling Gleam again, try and pick up this KO on the Thunderous, and I don't really see a way for him to stop it. He actually leaves his Kyogre in, which is really interesting. But I do go for the Dazzling Gleam. Thunderous does not wake up. I don't know what it was going for because it was the fastest thing in the field at this point. And I do pick up the KO onto Kyogre. I'm sorry, onto Thunderous. I put Kyogre into basically range of most of my other attacks. Excuse me. And Ice Beam comes out, but into my Bronzong and not my Xerneas. So the Deer will stick around for one more turn. And this I've been writing down sleep turns, so we know that his Ferrothorn has taken 0 turns of sleep, so I pretty much have a pretty clear win condition here where I switch Bronzong into Groudon, knowing my Xerneas is faster, and go for Dazzling Gleam or Moonblast, and then Fire Punch the next turn to Ferrothorn. And I was just making my moves at this point pretty quickly because his DS was flashing red and I didn't want it to run out. And so, yeah, I just go for the Dazzling Gleam this turn. He doesn't protect his Kyogre. I'm not sure I ever saw it. No, I did see protect, yeah. So, whenever people don't protect, I'm like, do they have it? Like, maybe they don't have it. Like, maybe, like, one time, like, even on stuff that, like, should definitely have protect, if they just don't, like, if they're, like, against threatening Pokemon, they just never protect, I actually start to second guess. I'm like, maybe, like, they should have protect, but maybe they don't. And at this turn, I just click buttons really fast because his DS was running out of power. And his Ferrothorn, his DS is dying, right? He's like, dude, like, my DS is dying, like, please help me finish this match. And I'm like, of course, dude. So I'm making my moves right away. He goes for protect! Did you see that? His Ferrothorn was asleep. His DS is on, like, blinking red and has been for, like, a few minutes. So, like, he is, like, really cutting it close. And he tries to protect. And I was like, what? Yeah, but that was that game. I do end up winning 2-0. And, yeah, it was a good game. Kyogre is a scary matchup. And Ferrothorn can be really scary if it's played correctly, but I'm sorry, not played correctly, but if you manage your weather really well. But yeah, it was a good match. I don't feel bad. I was kind of unfortunate that he got like bad sleep turns, but maybe I missed something. But I think for the most part, like the sleep turns didn't really matter because like Although like it definitely guaranteed my win, but I had other plans even if he woke up like right away. So that was a really good game. I really enjoyed it. I actually had a lot of fun playing that one, and it was cool playing against Rayogre. I really like Landorus, Thundurus, Ferrothorn, Kyogre. I think that's like a really cool. I just think they're cool Pokemon. I like using them because like they're pretty defensive. Yeah, but I think that's just about it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like this video, please make sure to leave an index finger up, a pinky finger up, a thumbs up, any of the four fingers that are not offensive pointed towards the rooftop. That would be really appreciated. If you enjoyed this content, please make sure to subscribe. If you have suggestions, I have a lot of these videos from regionals that I want to do, but I also want to make other content. So if there's stuff you want to see in the channel, please make sure to let me know in the comments or messages. Yeah, that'd be cool because I definitely want to try to do some other stuff as well. So until next time, guys, thanks for watching.